the record button. It is your boy MM2K and your other boy.
Shout out to Dusty.
And shout out to Dusty and everybody for joining us for another SSC podcast. This is SSC number 107, and this is going to be a little different. The way we're going to run this show, Lo-Fi and I, is for the members, is you're just going to hear one big cluster of with no interruption, and that's the way we like it. For our public viewers on Saturday, what you're going to hear is me and Lo-Fi break down just a small bit of cloud news that came out for the holiday. And then we're going to precurse a very special interview that was done earlier this week with me and the homie Vet. Shout out to Vet Gaming, Vet Cloud Gaming out there. And then Lo-Fi and I, we're going to come on the back end. We're going to talk about the interview. We're going to talk about things that were disclosed, things that still, are being queried by the community and so forth. And the best next steps, people are looking for answers about the Boosteroid product. But with no further ado, let's shoot it back to our good friend Lo-Fi Monk. Lo-Fi, what you been playing this week, man?
Oh man, Vampire Survive. That in Marble Snap, but mostly Vampire Survive.
Okay. You really liking that Vampire Survive, man?
Man, I don't know if you played it, but when you first started up, you're like, what the hell did I just, what is this? But it's so good, so addictive.
See, I haven't played it yet. And you're playing it via xCloud, right?
Bruh, I'm gonna be honest, I don't even know why they bothered putting that game on xCloud. It's just, it's one of those games, it's not meant for the cloud. It's too much.
Okay, I got you. Okay.
You know what white noise is, right? Like static.
Uh-huh.
So your first level, you got a lot of grass underneath you, and it's like this old school like Super Nintendo graphics. So it's like green noise. So it's like the codec that they're using to stream to you, it's just goes crazy.
It ain't working.
It takes a minute to work its way out. Yeah.
Oh, that sucks. Well,
but I mean, it's a little simple. Like it pretty much, you can install it almost on any PC and play it. It's $3 right now. Go get it if you're a Game Pass subscriber.
Can't beat that, man.
Yeah.
So I've made some promises that I am no longer going to be super negative about xCloud. Not on this channel. I can't make that promise on my channel. You know what I mean? Shameless plug. MM2 at MM2K Gaming at YouTube.com. I can't make that. I can't make that promise there. But
that's what I'm saying. I wasn't even playing it on xCloud. I was installed that one. So, dude, I know you don't want to go, but I gotta say it, man. I can't think about it without saying it. Okay. Xbox has the games.
Yes, absolutely.
But GFN is the place to play.
Ooh, my God. My God.
If you just got the games over there, you'd be good.
Yeah. Like GFN with Game Pass library. Oh,
yeah.
Like stuff. That's why we talk here often about, can we see it's not that we want Xbox to fail or do bad, and no one's saying that they are failing or doing bad. It's not that we want them to either. It's just we want it to perform a little better, and that's why we say bring up things like, what if Xbox bought Shadow? You know what I mean? That's where all that comes from. Let me see here. Let me just tweet this out because we did start a little bit later than we are live. Perfect. All right. So with that said, we do have a little bit of cloud news. I mean, it's the holiday. It's Turkey Day here in the States. Everybody's stuffed. They gained 35,000 pounds in the course of 24 hours. So that, if you're not in the States, that's probably why you're seeing a lower volume of stuff this week. And frankly, this North America is the largest region for cloud gaming. I know that upsets a lot of people when they hear that. But it's the truth, and that's the reason why the focus is the way that it is. So that's why things slowed down this week, because it was a big holiday here in the US. All right, so with that being said, let's go to the small news that was released this week. You know how we do. Let me show you.
Hey, happy holidays, everybody.
Oh, happy holiday, exactly. All right, I want to show y'all the full. All right, so this is CloudDosage.com. This is our sister site, and it says Amazon Luna's out of this world offer. Rumors may be circulating about the closure or wind down of Amazon's cloud gaming service, but it looks like that they still want to try. If you still want to try it out for yourself, all thanks to an amazing new offer. With Black Friday just over the horizon, you can now grab the Wi-Fi controller in 1 month of Luna for $39.99. That's a savings of $30 off the regular price. Additionally, you can also get only the controller for $35.19. A bundle with a Fire Stick is available for $59.98. And finally, there's a controller and phone clip bundle for $52.98. So if you're interested in Amazon Luna or want to get a controller to give someone, you better act quick. Lo-Fi, what do you think about this? I mean, I know there's rumors because of things that have been said by corporate about laying off jobs, but we talked about that and we said, hey, look, the bulk of those jobs aren't coming from cloud gaming, but then there's more games that were let go this month that are coming on so far. And, now you got this deal. I mean, what do you think? You think that Amazon is in trouble, or, it's just people are over speculating, or what do you think?
I think people are over speculating. I think this whole time we've been wanting this expansion, and we want Luna to do a lot more and push. Yeah. But they've been very reserved, and now tech is getting hit really hard here lately. And that might be the thing that might have been the smart play, to just hang back and relax, to move slow. And I think right now they're just giving you really good Black Friday deals. I don't think they're going anywhere.
I totally agree. So many of, like, I used to say this, Lo-Fi, a lot, and in the latter end of 2020 and really in 2021, I was like, I used to push, this is a 1% business, 1% business. Oh, 2K, shut up, shut your pie hole up. Like, okay, I mean, it is what it is, and it's not going to, things aren't going to fly off the shelf for cloud gaming. Doesn't mean it's not capable. It's just gamers got to get used to it. And I think Amazon realizes that. Again, the biggest region for Amazon in particular, like, I think when you look at Fire Sticks, my numbers could be off, but there's a huge gap between the usage of Fire Sticks in North America or in the US versus everywhere else. And I think like 50% or 27 something, but a huge amount, the overwhelming majority, well, let me not say it like that. A huge amount of Amazon usage, as far as the Fire Stick is concerned, is in the US alone. And then everywhere else, it's not even close. You know what I mean? If you look at everywhere else individually, it's not even close. So that's why their focus is in the States, because they're using the Fire Stick to pivot Luna off of, but I know it sucks, but it is what it is. So I'm with you, Lo-Fi. I don't think they're in trouble. I just think they're making adjustments as they feel feasibly to the whole tech crash, or whatever you want to call it.
But I mean, we learned the hard way not too long ago that just because they got things going on don't mean they might not.
Like I said, I won't be surprised. I wouldn't be like I don't expect it, but if they close down, I wouldn't be surprised. I'm like, oh, nah, I wasn't seeing that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I think we're still like in the little soft underbelly of Stadia closing down, and I think all the other cloud providers possibly looking at each other and saying, is this something we want to flirt with too? You know what I mean? Like,
it does definitely feel like cloud gaming was pushing while Stadia was here, and now it's kind of taking a back seat. But I don't think it's because Stadia's gone. I think it's because the economy is crazy right now all over the world.
Yep. And now I think not necessarily because Stadia is gone, but because Stadia left, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because Stadia left.
I don't think the pressure is on everybody else anymore like it was.
And people that were on the periphery that were like, I'm gonna watch this thing. I think now they're just like, forget it. Like, let me give you an example. My grandson, yeah, I'm telling my age. My grandson, he's 11. And he was sharing my Stadia account. And he was playing all my Stadia games. Well, now that Stadia is gone, and my daughter said, Dad, I'm not getting, he would come over and stare and his mouth would just water looking at my PlayStation 5. And I'm like, no, that's the big kid's device. You can't touch that. So, yeah. And my daughter said, I'm not getting him a PlayStation 5. Like, it's bundled for $700 and all the other stuff. Well, now that Stadia is gone, he's not, they pap, what's the next bad cloud gaming thing we can share? No. He broke my daughter down. She got him a PlayStation 5 today. I mean, she got it for him for Christmas. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I mean, I think a lot of people that were on the periphery and semi-interested or, still not 100% sure about cloud gaming and had other options, I think now that they kind of wavered and they're going to the quote unquote for sure thing, the Xbox or the PlayStation. So,
well, I mean, while we're talking about it, look at Keystone.
Yeah.
The rumor started, Stadia closed, and now they were like, yeah, we're not going to do it.
Yeah, it's like you said, the pressure's off, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like, we don't have to torpedo as hard as we were because Stadia's gone, and like you said, the pressure is off.
There's nobody to race. It's not a race.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's time out. This is halftime now, We'll see. I mean, I still got faith in it. I particularly like what GFN's doing. GFN made it very clear that cloud gaming is something that they want to pursue, something that'll help connect them to other gamers, but they're leaning heavy on their hardware. That still doesn't mean that they're not doing anything for cloud gaming. I mean, damn it, the 3080 tier is just sick. And
the way I'm thinking about it, and this is just my fingers crossed, bro.
Mm-hmm.
But now, all it really would take to push cloud gaming is, like, right now we're in a bad economy. Let somebody figure out a way to write some code that like makes it cheaper.
Yep.
That makes it easier for a company, and the economy being bad could be the thing that spurs that.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, cloud gaming's back to pushing.
Yep.
The forefront again. So like,
I mean,
that's all it takes is one good idea to pop out and it's back on top.
I mean, if the dynamic was different and more gamers were acceptable to cloud gaming, that would actually be better for the economy. You know what I'm saying? That would be better for the economy because number one, you ain't got to stand in long lines to buy games, meaning that you just go boop, 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 and you got the access.
Do they still sell discs? Like when you go buy, do all of them come with codes inside the case, or are they still selling?
No, they still. I know it's crazy. Someone that's not a cloud gamer is going to listen to this podcast and they're going to ask, what planet are these dudes from? But that's the luxury of cloud gaming. Like, we don't know what the hell you guys are doing with your discs. So we don't know if they're still around. You know what I mean?
I don't even know what a PlayStation is. What?
They're still using discs. They're still using. But according to my daughter, who went out on Black Friday today, there was the PlayStation 5 is killing it with the digital bundles. Like they got these digital bundles everywhere for the digital version, the discless version. So, so that's
if you got a PC that can run the PlayStation Cloud app, bro, it's like $100 for a whole year. Like that's a really good deal.
we didn't even. I mean, that's something that's worth talking about. I mean, you can get and I think that's the essential. That's the top tier one. You get PlayStation Essential for $100 for the whole year.
GFN, that's only 6 months. So I mean, PlayStation's got the better value there.
Yeah. It's the only thing that I would say that kind of like disappointed me. And shout out to Tyler that writes for Cloud Dosage. He discovered that Ghost of Tsushima is on there, which is dope. But they're still running games only there are some games that still only run at 30 frames per second, which was like
right. And their main thing is the older like past PlayStation.
Yeah.
Like there's not a lot of PS5 stuff on.
We've talked.
But I mean,
go ahead.
Take it with a grain of salt because I haven't really. I haven't dove into it. So
yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try it too. I'm in toying around. Like actually, I could upgrade because I bought a whole year of the PlayStation regular, and for $9 for the rest of the year, I can get PlayStation Essential and try it out if I want. And I may do that. But yeah, dude, it'll be interesting to see them do better in the cloud as well. You know what I mean? So
yeah, I mean, there's Black Friday deals galore right now. There's all the game systems are doing bundles, and you can get really good deals on Game Pass, GFN, PlayStation Plus, Amazon right now. Yep,
exactly. Yeah, everybody's doing them. You know what I mean? And that's another reason why with the notice of Amazon dropping the price of their controller, I wouldn't panic because everybody's doing it right now. You know what I'm saying? It's Black Friday. Right. This is how you get out of the. I mean, people don't. Do people not know why it's called Black Friday? It's not called Black Friday because your lights don't get paid or something. It's called Black Friday because this is when businesses normally run, especially a lot of retail chains. They run in the red, meaning they haven't turned a profit holistically yet until the holidays. And the Friday after Thanksgiving is the day that normally starts pulling businesses out of the red and into the black, meaning they start making a profit. So that's why they call it Black Friday. A lot of people are cutting deals. So I wouldn't panic, not yet. But I wouldn't be surprised, like you said, Lo-Fi, I wouldn't be surprised either. I wouldn't be surprised if like on Black Monday or Cyber Monday, they're like, yeah, we're done with this whole Amazon. We're done with this whole Amazon Luna thing. Goodbye. Well, I wouldn't be totally shocked, but I don't expect it to happen. All right. With that said, dope stuff. All right, man. Let's talk about it. So shout to Vet. I know throughout, and we talked about this. I know throughout the whole Stadia thing, there was, Vet had some choice words for Stadia. He had some choice words for the community. But that was just Vet's passion cup overflowingeth. You know what I'm saying? I've responded.
Yeah.
I've responded.
If you know Vet, he gets worked up.
Exactly. Yeah.
Once he gets going, man, just watch.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. And he's just very passionate. And sometimes the passion cup overfloweth, and he'll admit it. Like, I don't mean any harm. I'm just passionate about this stuff, and I love it. Yeah. And he's come and he said, "Look, Stadia community, I ain't got no problems with you guys. Just, I got my personal feelings, and I feel the way that I feel about some things, and you can take it or leave it." But he is an avid cloud gamer.
He's like the animal on the drums.
Oh yeah. Sometimes you just gotta douse him with a little bit of water to get him to stop hitting the cymbals. You know what I mean? But,
got a little carried away.
Exactly. But he doesn't mean any harm, and he's passionate about his takes. So me and Vet,
hilarious.
Yeah, absolutely. And I spoke to him about attempts in the past to try to drum up Stadia 100, because that was always my thing with some people in the cloud community. Is Stadia 100 was simply a tool for gamers who like Stadia and wanted, with the fray of cloud gamers and content creators, rather, like going and doing different things. They wanted to know where they could go to find, Stadia streams. That's it. And they were afraid to ask.
When I first started Stadia, I would look up Stadia across the internet, and it was nothing but haters.
Exactly. Yeah.
Nothing but haters. I didn't even know there was a community. It took a minute to figure out there was a community. If it wasn't for that tag, I wouldn't have been able to find that.
And that is the purpose. And we've unfortunately had some people try to associate it to fanboyism, or when I say some people associate it, not the actual game,
just the noise.
Yeah, just people just creating noise and saying, "Oh, all that thing is for is fanboy stuff." I know people meant to do this, but this is what and there's no evidence of it. Nobody was spray tagging GFN gamers cars with Stadia 100 and die. It just didn't exist. So it was a shame that some people took that opportunity to try to go after Vet. And I talked to him behind the scenes and I said, "Look, bro, as someone who was integral in the formulation of Stadia 100, these are people that are trying to create issues for their own personal agenda. Don't sweat it." And Vet just continue to do his thing. So me and Vet we've been talking behind the scenes despite all the noise, and with Stadia closing down and our objective of trying to find a new haven for a lot of the disenfranchised gamers, he's extended an olive branch, and he's like, "Hey, look, man, there's this Boosteroid thing that I'm working on." And I'm like, "Yeah, I heard about that." I said, "But there's people that have concerns." And he said, "Sure." He said, "Well, what are the concerns?" And I expressed the concerns to him. And mind you, this was happening weeks before the actual interview. He didn't just hit me up and say, "Hey, you come here."
No, it's funny because I was doing the same thing. I was having the same conversation.
Yeah, like he didn't say, like, this was weeks in advance. And if anybody knows me behind the scenes, I am the ultimate researcher. So it's not that I didn't trust Vet. And Vet knows this. It's that, okay,
well, everybody has something to say about Boosteroid, and it's like, well, who do I know out of the community who's actually spending time with it?
Yeah. My thing is, if I have questions about something, I'm getting to the heart. I'm not gonna like gumshoe my way through it and come up with hypotheses, because I'm not a scientist. I need answers. So, and that's just maybe the Fortune 500 business manager in me is I don't need to come up with theories. I need answers. So I go directly to the source, and then I survey what you're telling me, and then I cross-reference what you're telling me to different realities, and then I cross that check off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't make hard decisions on what ifs.
Exactly. Yeah. So after weeks of conversations of us getting connected to people at Boosteroid, and us having various conversations and me being able to cross-reference some things, I said, okay, well, being that there's these questions out here about the service, and being that these questions don't seem to associate themselves to the reality, let's get Boosteroid out here to address this and confirm that. You know what I mean? Because I can go out here all I want and say, no, Boosteroid is this and Boosteroid is that. I don't work at Boosteroid. I'm not an investor. The people at Boosteroid got to do it themselves. And they got to look you in the eye via the camera, and they got to confirm it. You know,
what's his name? What was his name? Ivan. Right?
Yeah, Ivan. Yep.
Ivan. Yeah, he's the owner.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I believe he's the CEO.
It's straight from the horse's mouth.
Exactly. So, yeah, we said, hey, look, guys, this is great that you're telling this to me, but let's try to be it would help you if you're transparent as possible, even though you may have not started these rumors, or let's go.
Much better coming from him.
Exactly. So we got him out there in front of the people, because honestly, they're too busy working and doing the stuff that they need to do to expand the service and answer questions, stuff like that. They don't play this game that we sometimes play in the cloud gaming community. So they didn't really know. They're like, huh? They were a little stunned. They were a little taken aback. So I explained it to them, and they said, sure, if that's what people are thinking, yeah, we'll get out there. We'll talk about it. So they got out there, they talked about it. And what were some of the things? Well, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to let Lo-Fi break down, if you could, Lo-Fi, just some of the things prior to this interview that the community was concerned about. Then we're going to pause this, and then for those that are watching this publicly, On Saturday, you're going to see the interview. For those that are just in the members, you're just going to have a brief pause. Then me and Lo-Fi are going to come back. And then we're going to talk about our thoughts of the interview and any lingering questions or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So first things first, Lo-Fi, what were some, before this interview happened, what were some of the concerns that were out there in the community about this service?
Well, I haven't been like an advocate of Boosteroid because I've had questions until they got answered. But I definitely have had to kind of defend it a little bit and tell people to hold on. You don't know until you know. So it's a good thing y'all did this interview. But one thing was their business addresses. People thought they were really suspicious and funny because the addresses are in places where people normally do a lot of like money laundering type deal. But they're in a war-torn country. So like it's like they're having to do what they have to do right now. And then there was the concerns of people getting banned playing games through Boosteroid. And I've been telling everybody this isn't just a Boosteroid problem. There's other cloud services where this can happen to you. It has to do with the EULA per game. Each game has its own EULA, and some of those state that you can't play from a cloud. So there's those concerns, and then there's also just like, what's the legitimacy of all these games being there? Why did they have the games? It's a small company. Well, not even a small company. We can't say what the size of their company is or their value, but what I can say is that no one knows who they are. And then you got GFN. Everybody knows who they are, but they don't have these games. So why are you able to make these deals and GFN, nvidia of all people can't make? So what, or maybe there's just a difference in business plans. I don't know, but those are the concerns.
So,
and there's also GFN. The whole, like when GFN first got going, they had like the whole Steam library, right? And that got kind of taken away in the limited library. So people are like, is that what's going to happen here? Anyway,
And look, to me, all legitimate concerns.
Especially after with Stadia.
I think the problem is, and we'll talk about this more on the back end, is it's kind of like how I tell my wife. She's gotten better at it. It's not what you're saying to our kids are wrong. It's how you're coming across it. They're tuning you out. And so when we have these concerns in the community, instead of us grabbing the mic and saying, hey, Ivan, or something, hey, look, interested in your product, but what's up with this, that, and the other? We kind of like congregate and we build more and more and more and more into the hyperbole. And we've done this over multiple things. And, sometimes, and then like the first few times I've heard about some of these things, I'm like, oh, I mean, I get it. I get it. That you guys may not be close to some of the things and I'm close to them. So here's the answer. But after like the fourth or fifth time, your eyes start rolling back in the back of your head. And you're like, we're playing Murder, She Wrote again. Like, come on, like let's go to the source. That's why I use terms like kick the tires. Let's kick the tires. Let's get information, because on the cross end of us trying to play Matlock or Murder, She Wrote, there are cloud gamers who this stuff could benefit that are going to be left out, that are going to suffer from this FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And if we're creating false FUD, that's not helping them. And I'm here for the cloud gamer. I'm not here to root any particular product, because I'm not.
Well, on the flip side of it, flip side of it is, what if there is something going on that's funny? Like, I don't want to be the one telling everybody that it's not. It's much better to go to the source. Like,
just always go to the source and you kick the tires. You don't let things fester amongst yourselves who don't have the answers. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we attempt to do here. Let's put it out here and let's see if the questions are answered and what questions aren't answered that still remain, and how we best go about it. So with that said, let's do that right now.
All right, there we go. We got everybody.
Hey.
Hi, everyone.
I think everybody is in the chat. So, I introduced myself, MM2K. You want? I mean, I don't think you need an introduction, but if you want to go ahead. I'm sure. Yeah, go for it, buddy.
I'm sure there's somebody who in the Himalayas somewhere that hasn't heard my voice. Help me scream loud enough. I'm MM2K. I'm an avid cloud gamer. And you guys may know me from Cloud Dosage and CloudDosage.com. Also MM2K Gaming. But I'm very happy that my good buddy Vet extended the opportunity for me to sit here with our good friend Vlad of Boosteroid and do this interview. You guys, we're going to answer all your questions. We're going to, it's going to be a great conversation. So do not go anywhere. And thank you again to Vlad for joining us and Vet for giving me the opportunity to be here too.
Yeah, definitely. Vlad, if you want to give a little introduction real quick, and then we'll jump into some questions.
Yeah, sure. Thank you guys, first of all, for having me on this interview. Super excited to chat with you and the people about everything related to Boosteroid and cloud gaming. And my name is Vlad. I'm in charge of business development and Boosteroid, basically handling all the cooperations and partnerships and business development things that are going on at Boosteroid, from data centers and ISPs to game publishers and TV providers and telcos, the wide range of partners. And yeah, I guess that's it.
Awesome. So before we go get too deep into Boosteroid and the service itself, do you want to? Well, I guess you kind of told us a little bit about yourself, but how did you get into gaming? Do you have any favorite games to play, and what brought you into the cloud gaming industry?
Well, I'm not actually a gamer. I used to be when I was a teenager, and I played titles like Need for Speed and Lord of the Rings and so on. And you guys make me remember this time, and I'm like, well, that was super cool. Modern Warfare, and but probably the one and the only game was and still is Flat Out 2 for me. The racing game where you can crash into other cars and so on. The pretty old stuff from mid 2000s, but I still play it sometimes when I have time. So yeah, maybe all these games are from early to mid 2000s, and when it comes to modern titles, then I play Fortnite from time to time. But basically, Boosteroid helped me get into it a little bit, because I was not like even the casual gamer before I joined Boosteroid, so I'm not a gaming expert. I know lots of things because that's what we work with at Boosteroid, of course, but we have a gaming team and guys who are professional gamers, hardcore gamers. They know more about that, but so don't think I'm not the right person here. But I'm also not the really hardcore gamer as well.
Right. All good. How long have you been with the company there?
Since the very beginning, since 2017, and so basically, when Boosteroid has just started, it was more like a startup thing back then. And it's very exciting to see the growth and the expansion of the business, of the team, and the technology, and so on. So, pretty exciting path.
Awesome. All right, MM, you got some questions you want to ask?
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you again, Vlad, for all that. And you ain't got to look. And that's the great thing about cloud gaming, in my opinion, is you don't have to be a hardcore gamer, because your funds can be limited. You can't buy the next $800 console or the $35,000 PC, but services like Boosteroid help you gain access to that, whether you play whether you're hardcore, you play casually, you know what I mean? So it's awesome to get your perspective on that and how Boosteroid services like Boosteroid are associated to you. With that being said, now over at Boosteroid, you guys provide access to games via the cloud. So for some people who may not understand how you guys do that, can you help our audience understand how that's done?
Sure. Yeah. And in addition to what you just said, yeah, basically I'm the typical target audience of cloud gaming. And even people from the marketing team sometimes reach me and say, what do you think about this or about that? Because they also agree that basically this is a typical cloud gamer, the person who is not playing due to some reasons, but cloud gaming is the perfect solution to get this person in, because you don't need to own high-end hardware. You don't need to download anything. It's very easy access across platforms and so on. Yeah. And just in a nutshell, Boosteroid is a remote, high-end remote gaming rig where the games are actually launched and where they are running, while the gameplay is streamed from this remote desktop to the user device over the internet. So when you launch a game on Boosteroid, you don't really run this game locally on your device. It's launching in the data center on the hardware that we deploy there. And we have a custom hardware solution designed together with Intel, Asus, AMD, a couple of other partners, perfectly optimized for cloud gaming. So that's where the game is actually running. And the gameplay is just streamed to your device over the internet. And it doesn't matter if you have a high-end or a low-end device, which platform or operating system you have, since the game is basically running on a remote gaming rig deployed in the data center. And yeah, I guess that's very similar to what we have with Netflix or Spotify. And we love saying this a bit because basically the same thing is happening now to gaming that has already happened to music and video, right? And Boosteroid and our fellow cloud gaming services are the Netflixes and the Spotifys of cloud gaming, of games.
Awesome. Now, how many titles are currently on the service?
We have roughly around 600 titles right now.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And how many regions are you guys located in right now?
Today, we are available in North America. So the US, where our hardware is deployed. And we also cover Canada and Mexico. It's a little bit tricky with Mexico because the latency is a bit higher than the one you have in the US. But we have many people coming from Mexico. It's one of top 10 most active markets for Boosteroid. And so though the latency is not as good as in the US, it's still a good option to play high-end titles. And in addition to North America, we are available in Europe. That's basically where we have started. We have 18 data centers right now with our hardware, 6 in the US and 12 in Europe.
Awesome. Well, you answered my next two questions of where how many servers you have in North America and Europe. That's great stuff. So with that, I'm going to pass it back to Vet.
Okay, thanks, Imam. So how did Boosteroid start?
Boosteroid is a great success story of a small company becoming a big company and a very successful in the business that it is doing. And we started back in 2016 or 2017 as a very small team, having the idea of, bringing the software to everybody, regardless of the processing power the PC has, regardless of the platform and stuff like that. And back then, basically the only option to run high-end software on a low-end device was like Google Cloud, AWS, and other cloud services where you really need to be tech savvy to deal with them, right? And it's not like an iPhone or Android where you press one button and everything you need is there, works well, and is very simple and efficient. So that was kind of an idea that we had back then. And it's not only about games, but about the software as the whole, the apps for, I don't know, design, video making, and stuff like that. Everything that requires lots of processing power and that is not available to many people who really need this for I don't know, for work, for school, or just as a hobby. So that was the idea that we had back then, and we start researching, start building some software prototypes and stuff like that. And in 2017, we realized that, well, we will start with gaming. We'll really focus on cloud-based access to games. We got together with a couple of hardware vendors like Asus to design the custom hardware solution. And we started step by step by launching a proof of concept in Central Europe and by launching everywhere across Europe. And then basically, within a year or so, it became a very big thing. We hired lots of people, opened lots of offices around the globe, started buying hardware, making connections with the top tech companies in this world. And basically, today, Boosteroid is no longer a startup. Of course, it's a very big company with lots of offices, lots of people, lots of hardware and partners, but we still have this startup, spirit, and we do things fast. We try to be flexible as much as we can. So we are we don't want to end up being a corporation with all those boring things happening internally and so on. We keep the startup and the gaming spirit, and that really helps us move forward. I guess that's pretty much it. How it started and how it's going.
Awesome. Are there any significant backing partners that you can tell us about? I mean, I know you mentioned Asus and I think Intel that I heard. Are there any others that you can tell us in the community about?
As a business and as a cloud gaming service, we are fully independent. We don't have any big company behind us. So it's just Boosteroid. But we have lots of partners across different industries because we work with data centers, we work with internet providers, hardware vendors, and so just recently we started partnering with TV companies because with cloud gaming you can run your PC games on a TV. You don't need a console, and you have the access to the catalog of PC games, which is bigger and cheaper than console games. And of course, you don't need to buy and upgrade the console all the time, and you still can enjoy the big screen gaming experience on a TV. And we're not here to say consoles are bad, but that's how it goes. We believe that over time people will switch for streaming, and there will be less console users, and because already today you can just switch on the TV and play any PC title with a gamepad, or even if you don't have a gamepad, at Boosteroid we have the gamepad app. You can download it on your iOS or Android smartphone and control the game session with a smartphone. Of course, not the best solution for all games, right? But just to lower the entry barrier, if you don't have a gamepad, that's something you can do just to start. And we have partnerships with Sharp, Philips, Skyworth, and a couple of other companies, the TV and set-top box providers. And as of today, we are available on over 25 million devices. We are either pre-installed or integrated with the TVs or set-top boxes. yeah, by mid 2023, as new models of our partners will come to the stores, we will already be available on over 70 million devices with big screen, and we are very excited about that because that's something we really count on, and we believe in big screen gaming. We optimize the apps that we have all the time. We know that for dummies, if I may say this, sometimes the access on the TV is a little bit more difficult. So we try to optimize the UI, things like that, to make it really smooth and easy. So yeah, we have lots of partners also in the telco business, and the TVs, the set-top boxes, publishers, of course, and yeah, many others, because cloud gaming is now the space where you can collaborate, cooperate, and do great stuff with many companies, even those not from the gaming and even like entertainment industries, because everybody is looking at cloud gaming. Everybody wants to do something, to partner with the cloud gaming provider to do something with this. Everybody understands that that's the way we will be playing games, and that's the future of the gaming industry, and everybody wants to jump in. So a very exciting time in terms of some partnerships, cooperations, and things like that.
Awesome stuff. Now I know I had gotten some emails from Boosteroid a while back, mentioning they were working on a winter update or an update for the service sometime in the winter. Is there anything you can tell us what that includes, how it's progressing, and what we as gamers can expect from it?
Well, the most important thing is the 4K tier that we are going to launch. And this will be available for all games that you can access on Boosteroid. And 4K is good, but up to 240 FPS is even better.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Did you guys catch that? 4K, I'm sorry, Vlad, 4K up to 240 FPS. I'm sorry, continue. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And, so basically, the test results that I've seen personally are very impressive, and we have 80 FPS in Cyberpunk at 4K. Nice. We have more than 150 FPS at Fortnite in 4K, nice. And yeah, with some games it goes up to 240. So that's really
nice.
Much better than anything else you can get on the market right now. Mm-hmm. We are very excited about that. We face some challenges as we are based in Ukraine, and we have finished basically the R&D for this new hardware. We are now starting to buy it and plan to deploy it across our data centers in late winter next year. But I don't want to be the guy saying, well, you will have a 4K in January.
Right. No, understand.
But yeah, and we really do our best, to make it happen as soon as possible. And we face some problems just, in terms of the logistics and testing stuff and so on. It's a nightmare to ship something to Ukraine right now. And,
understand that.
Yeah,
and we have the testing team and the hardware team here, so we need to ship the samples here, test them here, and after recent missile attacks, we often have blackouts. So things may take longer than we want them to take, but right now we are targeting mid to late winter to start deploying this new hardware in the US and in Europe. It will go like step by step. We will not be able to put this hardware everywhere right away. So we will start with a few data centers and then step by step deploying it across all our points of presence.
Awesome. All right,
Man.
you're up next, buddy.
I might need a drink of water, man. I'm still fanning myself off from that 4K 247. And Vlad, one more time, you said now these are just initial test, people. So just but right now you said that Cyberpunk is clocking at what 4K and how many frames you guys are getting in your test?
Up to 80.
Oh, geez. Okay,
That's crazy.
That's crazy. All right. So now the gloves are coming off, lad. We're gonna expose Boosteroid according to some sectors of the community. You gotta love them. But with that being said, we do want to address some questions that have been swirling in the community, and hopefully, you know what I'm saying. We can add like some resolution to some of the concerns that people may have because lack of information, not listening to all the content that you guys have provided, or just maybe needing some clarification on things. So frankly, there's rumors that there's no other way to say it, but to say it. There's rumors that the service is not legit. So let's address those. All right. First, there are many games on the platform that honestly are very impressive. Like me and Vet been talking, and he's loving the heck out of Spider-Man Miles Morales. I've been talking to a lot of my other cloud gaming friends, and they're just looking at your lineup, and they're like, "Holy cow, this is great stuff." But we're not seeing it anywhere else on the cloud. So here's my question: how are you guys able to get those games? And I mean, I know you can't tell us everything because there's contracts and things like that, but the best way to explain to assure us that this is quote unquote legit, how are you guys able to get stellar games like Miles Morales and so
on? Yeah, of course, to tell everything, I would need to sign the NDAs with you guys and with all the people who are listening to us right now. So, but I can address this, of course, and there are multiple ways we deal with the content because we do not own it. Yes. We are not doing the Google Stadia thing with our own store, and people bring their own games that they buy from the official distributor on Steam, Epic, or anywhere else, and they play the games under their own accounts, and we are just a remote gaming rig, so to say. And so first of all, we are very flexible in terms of collaborations with publishers. So we do not maybe I shouldn't say this, but yeah, we don't charge listing fees for the games to be available on Boosteroid. We don't charge in-app like percentage from in-app purchases or stuff like that. So it's very easy to opt in. We don't have any porting requirements. We don't bother publishers. We say, well, there's Boosteroid. We can bring great exposure to your games, and you don't need to invest anything, even your time and effort. And that's how we are able to communicate with many of them. And they say, well, yeah, why don't we check it out? Why don't we try? Some of them, even those who are not really in favor of cloud gaming, at least that's what they say publicly, they are still, they understand that, well, we will need to deal with this sometime soon, right? So let's see how it goes. Let's collect some statistics data and stuff like that without making too much noise about that and saying that we collaborate with a cloud gaming provider. So there are very different cases here, and we try to be as flexible as possible and to deliver a really comfortable environment for the publisher, so that many of them are willing to try this out, to see how cloud works, how their games work in the cloud, and in addition to this, we have this, we call it hybrid content access model, but in a nutshell, it means that you can not only have access to the games that are pre-installed on Boosteroid servers, but you can also upload the game files that you own on a remote Boosteroid desktop manually and then play it on your dedicated remote desktop. This is basically the same thing as any cloud service, like Google Cloud, AWS, Microsoft Azure, any other cloud service where you have the remote desktop, you upload certain software, and you basically run this software in the cloud. So we have the install section where people can check some games that are compatible with Boosteroid remote gaming desktop. And if they own this game, they can upload it to the Boosteroid remote gaming desktop, and they can run them in the cloud. And this is basically it's different from the model where the game is pre-installed. You just click one button and start playing it. But this is the idea behind this section is to make the gaming library really unlimited. And right now, when you go to this install section, you see the selection of titles. This is just a catalog to show what games are compatible. As we test more and more games, this section will become basically unlimited. You will be able to upload any game you want, because the list of compatible games will not be like 100, but will be 10,000 titles, right? We just need to make sure that the game is running well in the cloud-based environment. That's why we cannot, or let's say we can, but we don't want to do the thing that, for example, the Shadow Cloud Gaming has, where you can upload any single game, right? And play it in the cloud. We understand that some games are not compatible with our environment. So we have a list of titles that are compatible. This list will be expanding, and one day, very soon, it will basically disappear, and you will be able to upload pretty much all the titles out there, with some exceptions of games that are not running well in the cloud. That's how the library will become unlimited, and people can run the games they own, right? That's the basic concept of the cloud itself. And nobody like Adobe, right, is not against Google Cloud, because some people are using Adobe products on Google Cloud virtual machines. So that's the same concept we have here with this access model, where people upload their own games manually on the dedicated remote desktop that we provide to them. And this is how we will be able soon have even more impressive library and provide even more access to the games people want to play. And of course, sometimes it's really important for many people, because they have no option to play certain games on their devices, low end or outdated. But it also brings unique experience of running a game on different platforms. You can run games on Mac OS without any hassle, just in one click in Safari browser. You can run games on the TV. You can run games on the smartphone. Now we have many people accessing games through Boosteroid on Mac OS or Linux. They have no other option to play this game, right? Or a Chromebook, for example. If you have a Chromebook, the only option for you to play a game is the cloud gaming. If we are talking about the PC games, of course. That's basically how we see it and what we have right now. And we hope to be able to have this unlimited library as soon as possible, and not just enabling access to every single game out there, but ensuring that the game is running well, and that people have really advanced cloud gaming experience.
Awesome.
So I know go ahead.
I was going to say, so there isn't a unmarked van with illegal data servers just roaming and evading the authorities, like many people have speculated. No, I love that breakdown, Vlad. Thank you so much. I think what Vet's going to do is there are additional questions in the chat. Is that what you're looking at, Vet?
I was just gonna say, if we want, there were a few that a couple of people had some questions. I know we had one that said from Ninja Guy X said, I've noticed some games cloud save not available. What does it mean exactly? Do I lose my save as soon as I leave the game?
Well, with most games, they save your progress on Steam, right? Or Epic. So it's saved in the cloud by the game platform that you use to play it. But some games do not support this. And when cloud saves are not available, we still have the gamer covered, and we save this progress locally. And then when you get to Boosteroid and launch the game next time, right? Again, you just this saves are available to you. They are stored on our servers and available to the gamer each time the gamer launches the particular game. So
okay, so they don't lose they won't lose the save. Okay.
Yeah, sure. And
Awesome.
we know that it's painful to lose your saves, and that's how we address this when cloud saves on Steam, for example, are not supported. We still save this locally, but not on the user's device, but on our own servers, and we make the saves available each time the user gets back to the game.
Okay. And then we had another question from FRS said, hi, Vlad. Do you guys know a price point at all for the 4K tier yet?
Just one small note to the previous question.
Okay.
I feel like I should say that if you have any issues, please contact our support, because typically everything works pretty well, but people may have issues. So feel free to contact the support team. They are real people, no bots, and they are 24/7.
Wow! Awesome.
Available in the online chat on our website, and you can. It doesn't matter if it is a day or night. You can reach out to them, and they will do their best to help you. Just in case you have any issues with anything. And
Awesome.
Coming back to the 4K, the 4K tier will be more expensive, just because we will have a bigger internal cost of running the 4K virtual machine. I don't know, or I cannot say the exact cost, but it won't be that high, and most probably somewhere around $18 per month.
Okay.
Probably not higher, but the exact prices will be revealed further down the line when we understand that we have, the date when we can launch 4K,
Okay.
and we will communicate this to our audience, of course.
Awesome. And then we had one more, I think, from from IC4N, had said, is it only available in some states? I've also heard that if you play certain games on Boosteroid, the responsibility is put on the user. This is why I have my doubt. And I believe he's more talking. There's been people that have tweeted out that they got their accounts banned when using the Boosteroid gaming service. So I think that's what he was implying by.
So it's available across all the states. We have data centers, 6 data centers across US covering the whole country. And in terms of this responsibility, some games, especially from the install section that you upload manually on your remote gaming desktop, it may happen that from time to time they are not really optimized for running in the cloud. We try to address these issues as soon as possible, and we'll fix many of them. But sometimes it may happen that the game simply, is not optimized to run in the cloud-based environment, and I know cases when people get banned. It's not happening all the time, but I know that it has happened several times. And basically, the system behind the game, just when they track that there is the cloud-based access to the game, the system behind the game says, well, I don't know what is this. Maybe let's ban this. This is unfortunately happening sometimes. We try to address this, and we fix many issues like this. But yeah, it will be not fair to say that nothing like this is happening, because it is still happening from time to time. And, but I don't think there are any major problems with this right now. Anyway, that's another point where I should say reach out to the support team. They will assist you.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, Flay.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. And that's actually my last legitimacy question. And I would just add to that. So just to confirm, it sounds like that it's a compatibility issue. It's not an issue of someone from Boosteroid was standing outside of EA, clubbed someone in the head and took a digital copy of FIFA and put it on there illegally. Like, you guys, it sounds like you guys are sound. You have agreements with all the publishers of the games that you put on the platform. And from time to time, there may be compatibility issues based upon the cheat mechanisms that are in games or whatever it may be, to where it may cause conflict. But you guys have customer support that is available 24/7 that can address these issues. It's not a we tried to rob and post and we got caught. It's a compatibility issue. Come and talk to your team to help get it resolved.
Yeah, pretty much like that. And I can't, like, especially for the part of the titles available in the install section, we not necessarily have an agreement with the publisher, because we are not, even pre-installing the game files on our servers, and that's happening on the user's side, and we are more like a Google Cloud here. Yeah, we provide the VM, and people use this virtual machine, the remote desktop, to upload.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So, but we of course have agreements with many publishers that are available on the platform. But just to be fully transparent, with some of them from the install section, we not necessarily have this, just because the idea behind this functionality is to enable access to all the titles out there soon. And people just take the game files they own, upload them to this remote desktop and play.
Gotcha.
And it's even, it's not possible for people to launch some illegal copies of the games.
Yeah.
We as Boosteroid, we are an additional verification point. And this is how we even help, the legit access, and we ensure that people cannot play the game if they do not own it on Steam or Epic or anywhere else. It's just not technically possible.
Gotcha.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, and we had Clive. We had a viewer in the chat. Clive had said, "Top tip: try customer service first before running to the village square."
Yeah,
so,
it's easier said than done, Clive.
Yeah. So I know you mentioned that you guys are based in Ukraine. So, and I know I've seen some photos and things like that. We all know what's going on happening over there. With you guys being adversely affected by the war in Ukraine, how are you guys? How's that situation affecting the company? And how's the team they're progressing during this time?
Well, the company and the team is affected a lot, and we managed to keep everything up and running, and it affects us, but not our users. It's been pretty challenging, and we it started in February, and in April we managed to launch in the US fully remotely. Nobody from Boosteroid has even came to the States and to oversee how the business is open. Everything was managed remotely. And part of the team relocated to a safer place within Ukraine, and part of the team went to the military to basically fight the invaders. And it's been pretty challenging. And a big part of the team was based in Kharkiv, which is the second largest city of Ukraine. And unfortunately, it's just 30 kilometers away from Russia. So the city was on the front line from the day one. It was never occupied, but they tried very much to do this. Even far away from the border, still, like today, we had a missile attack close to the office, and we had a blackout because of this. Because now the Russians are trying to destroy the energy infrastructure, which brings light and heat to people's houses. And they, unfortunately, they have succeeded to a certain extent in doing this. And we have regular blackouts. And some cities are completely destroyed, especially in the west, in the east of Ukraine. But even those who are still pretty safe, still there are issues with these missile attacks and so on. And we are very grateful for the international support and for the air defense support, because it really helps save people's lives, And just today, we had, unfortunately, several people killed in Kiev, the capital of Ukraine, due to the missile attack. It was just like a couple of hours ago. And it's pretty crazy, you sit in the office, you drink coffee, and you hear some explosions not far away from you. So we do our best, and we try to help as a company. Boosteroid tries to help the government, the military. We supply many things directly to the front line, to the army, from sleeping bags to some other things that people need right now. And we help really a lot. We invest a lot of money in this, and some of our team members are fighting on the front line since day one, and still are still there. So we try to contribute as much as we can to finally destroy the enemy who has come to our land, to our houses, and killing people, damaging the infrastructure. That's crazy, and we are a little bit, maybe got used to it in a certain way, but this is not something that should be happening in the world, in Europe, and So we hope that we will be able to, save all the people who are now in the occupied regions, get these regions back to Ukraine, because it's not only about the land, but about the people, of course. And as Boosteroid, we try and we are successful in this. Try to keep everything up and running. Our users are not affected by this. We don't have downtime or things like that. The service is working well, and we also try to help as much as we can. because still there are many things the company can do and the business can do, and it's been amazing how businesses in Ukraine support the country and the army in this difficult times, and we are one of such businesses with really it's not even the social responsibility, it's just we are fighting for our future, for our existence, and of course it's very important to help and
I know we've gotten a bunch of comments in support. We had Wilfredo Rivera said, "Please stay safe." Ray had thrown up the Ukraine flag and praying hands. Clive said, "Impressed with how you're keeping things going under such horrific situation." He said, "We just need a bit of snow here in the UK and everything stops." Windstar threw out some hearts. Crow said, "Such a senseless invasion. Stay safe." CGD Games said, "My community raised over 500, I'm going to say pounds, for Ukraine not long ago in a 12-hour cloud gaming stream. I hope it got out to good use, and you stay safe." So you definitely got the support from the cloud gaming community.
That's very important. Yeah, the support is very important, and also, I mean, just some online things, comments, and so on, fundraising, and many people leave Ukraine and try to settle somewhere in another country, and people across the globe have been very helpful, and this is very, very much appreciated. And I know that maybe sometimes we get news that people are a little bit tired of all this, the war in Ukraine and the consequences on the global economy and so on. But it basically, as a person that is here in Ukraine and can see this with my own eyes, the most important thing that people are suffering, and it's not about politics. It's not about some strategic military stuff. It's about people who are suffering, and this is something that should stop. And every single effort from all the people around the globe that helps us keep fighting for our freedom, for our future, and that helps bring peace. This is very important, and we are very, very grateful for that.
Awesome stuff. So I have one last question. So for anyone out there that wants to get access to the platform, to Boosteroid, right now, what should they do to sign up and learn more, get more information?
Well, you can contact support team, but yeah, you can just go to Boosteroid.com and sign up, and basically that's it. I mean, of course, you will need the Steam or Epic account to be able to play games.
Right.
We have many free-to-play games, and you don't need to buy anything. You just need an Epic account, and that's it. You can run Fortnite, for example, without any additional, money that you need to invest in the content or the games. And just go to Boosteroid.com, subscribe, and here you go. If you have any questions about the platforms, if you have any issues with a game running on a TV, for example, or anywhere else, just reach out to the support team. And cloud gaming is probably a very good example where your experience, for some reason, may be terrible, and then in 3 minutes, as you reach out to the support team, everything is fixed, and you have a smooth and really great experience. So don't hesitate to reach out to the support team in case of any issues. This may be really helpful, and just enjoy games in the cloud, and enjoy them across different platforms, enjoy them in your browser with no downloads, no installations, just pure gaming.
Awesome.
Awesome
MTK, you
stuff.
got anything? Any final thoughts or questions? Anything you want to say before we end it?
No, our hearts definitely go out to everyone on the team in Ukraine. Still providing this great service through these tragic, difficult times. Our hearts and prayers and thoughts go out to you guys. But I want to say that you guys are doing that in lieu of something that's great, that is really creating a lot of buzz in the cloud community, and doing it so rapidly. And you guys are doing it so rapidly that people were questioning, is it legit? You know what I mean? So that's kind of like a testament to how well you guys are doing. Keep it up. I can't wait until to see what else comes on the platform along with that winter update. And my message again is to echo what Clive said in our chat. We wanted to put this together to, again, push out cloud gaming, particularly in lieu of Stadia's closing down. So disenfranchised gamers, those who can't afford the more expensive hardware, know where they can go, where they can get great services like Boosteroid. And now and to caution people that when you have questions, don't just make up your reality. I came in here and very detailed told you where to go where you have questions, and gave a lot of information to get acclimated to the service. Facts are important. I know, mysterious things are more sexier than the truth, but facts are important. We got disenfranchised gamers out here that want to access stuff, that's looking for their next platform. Boosteroid can be a great choice for you, or any of these platforms. Do your research and know your facts and know where to go to get the correct information. So I just want to say with that, Vlad, thank you so much for joining us. And Vet, again, thank you again, brother, for allowing me to come on and do this with you.
Yeah, definitely. MM2K, thank you for joining me. And Vlad, thanks for taking the time out of everything going on over in Ukraine and out of your busy schedule to join us and get this interview going.
Yeah, really, guys, appreciated talking to you, and it was a great pleasure. Thanks a lot for inviting me, and thanks to the whole community. And let's go and play some games.
Awesome. All right, and with that, guys, I will. We're gonna end it here. We had one last couple of comments coming in. Ninja Guy X said he gave Boosteroid a first try yesterday and had a really good impression. Crow said, great interview. With that, guys, we'll see you on the next one. Stay safe, and Vlad, take care, and thanks again for joining us.
Yeah. Bye-bye. Keep in touch. Thanks, guys.
Peace.
Yep. Sounds good. See ya.
All right, so we're back. And great interview, I think. Not because I was there, but it was a great interview because
it's only one of the reasons.
Just one of 1,000 reasons. But no, I think it was a great interview because we got a little bit more understanding of Ivan and where he's coming from, and I think he was very transparent in his answers. And clear, it's particularly when I misinterpreted what was going on with the service, and he's like, no, I want to be very clear. It's not that's a better situation. It's not that. This is what it is. So he's being very transparent about everything that's going on in regards to the concerns that we talked about before we went to the interview. So as far as those questions are concerned, I think we covered a bevy of them. What do you think, Lo-Fi?
Well, I told you my viewing experience when we watched your interview. I was in a chat in Discord.
Uh-huh.
I always say I was in a chat in Discord. We're all hanging out, talking. Everybody, was kind of, we were listening but talking over it. And there was a couple times where you started to ask questions, some hard questions, and like everybody either fell silent or broke into applause.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was good. You had really good questions.
And that's, and you know what, when it comes to, and I hate to be like this. I hate to be, wagging my finger, and that's, I don't mean to have that tone. That's just me, the jackass. But what we got to understand is, as cloud gamers, we're kind of like the fore people on this. Like, we're setting the groundwork here. So there are going to be things that we're going to notice at the forefront of this that may seem out of whack, and that's good. That's good intuition. But it's all about how we address that intuition. So what we want to do is we want to go to the source and just bring it to the source and say, hey,
what's really cool about that is not only does this guy have a chance to do this interview, but now he has a chance to reflect on himself and how can I change this perception?
Yeah, that too. Because trust me, one thing that I can say is that they were taken aback when they were like, huh? Like at first, we had to convince them that we weren't spoofing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they thought we were kidding. And then once we convinced them that, no, we're serious, and like, here's this scenario. And then there's a couple of tweets that were out there that were forwarded to them. Then they were like, okay, I got you now. I'm like, yeah, okay, we'll definitely address that. Here's what's going on. I said, yeah, I appreciate that. We getting that, but you got to get in front of the mic. You got to explain that yourselves. I'm not a rep.
Right.
I'm not getting a paycheck. I'm not an investor. You know what I mean? So
right. We don't need the secrets. We just need to feel a little more at ease with you.
Yeah, exactly. And it was understood because of what was happening with Stadia and stuff like that. I think it was completely understood once they were brought to that reality. You know what I'm saying? They were broken out of their own silo, because again, they were just working to enhance stuff and do whatever they're doing. You know, and they didn't realize that. And then, like you were hinted to, Lo-Fi, now that makes them take a look and realize. And one of the things that I do know that they've mentioned they would do better is pay closer attention to the community. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that they had like an eye on the community like how everybody else was. You know what I'm saying? When I say the community, like, there's just certain people in the community you got to know, because there's certain tropes that.
Well, you know that, and he lives on the other side of the planet.
Exactly.
Us. And like you said, North America is the hot spot for cloud gaming.
Yep. And I think that was another effective part, is just helping people understand why they probably were in the bubble. They're in war-torn Ukraine right now. Blackouts, missiles drop. Yeah, I would imagine, and that's the challenge. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can be siloed from a lot of the buzz that's out there if you just got your head down and you're doing the work. You know what I mean? So, interesting stuff. So it was a good interview, but it maybe didn't answer all the questions. So Lo-Fi, I mean, is there anything else that you think that next time around, if they sit down, some things that people would like to hear addressed?
People just want to know that they can play their games without worry there. And, they want to know that they don't have to worry about getting banned.
Yeah.
They want to know that they purchase a game, it's not going anywhere. They want to be able to play it. And that's something I don't think a lot of these cloud platforms plan for the fact that some people are going to be like, this is where I play. This is my platform, They maybe address that, because there's not anyone else really doing that right now.
Exactly.
But overall, man, they're new, and it's going to take time. They really need to work on establishing themselves in a community, I mean, really.
Yeah.
If you don't, and I know a lot of people think the other people, when I say a community, they hear fanboys, but no, dude, you gotta have people talking about you. You just got to.
Yeah, you have to be
that are in your corner.
Exactly. You got to be connected. And it is more than just having people streaming your platform. Like you got to have your ears to the ground. It's very important to do that. So no, I think it's cool stuff. Again, the community is great. I love everybody in the community. With the experience that I have on the mainstream side of things, I just one habit that we may want to scrub away is don't congregate with these concerns. Go to the source, man. Go to the stores. I've never been afraid to ask a question. Maybe that's what gets me in trouble. I've never been afraid to question stuff.
Do it publicly, do it directly.
Yeah, do it publicly and do it directly. Yeah. Just come like my wife say, just come straight up the middle. You know, just come straight up the middle. And I've never danced around it and said, well, I just come to somebody and say, hey, look, you know.
Well, you know, if you're doing it right, now people with those same questions might search that question, and then your question pops up. Yep. Now, if Boosteroid answers it, then they get their answer.
Exactly.
Boosteroid ignores you, they see that too.
Exactly.
So, and that's not just Boosteroid, any company.
Exactly. And that's up to, and it's up to, and Boosteroid or any platform, they're going to have to earn that trust, and they're going to be transparent. And it's not for me, it's not for me to make it sound convincing. It's just for me to sit there and say, okay, well, this was explained. You may not be aware of it. Here's the explanation. That's for them to make that connection with you, but they can't make that connection with you if what the question is veiled. So let's not be veiled. Let's be
just ask direct, easy question that everybody can understand. Just go for it. Just go ahead and do it.
Like, hey, you know, I'm, you know, concerned about, you know, you got to look at it. You got to realize Stadia just closed down. A lot of us put a lot of money into that. Some of us are trying to figure out what we're going to do with the 35 billion in play credits that we got. Like, so we want to make sure that we don't run into a similar situation. What is your solvency?
This is what I've been telling people, man. From a consumer standpoint with Boosteroid, they're new and you don't know if you can trust them.
Yeah.
So here, my advice is they're only $10 a month.
Yeah.
And they're comparable to GFN.
Yeah.
So look at GFN's library, especially if you've already used it before. Look at their library and pick a game that you already have and just pull it over to Boosteroid. Try it out. Just try it out. I mean, $10.
$10. And I get it.
Just try it out.
There's some games that are on Boosteroid that you might get you can only access through Boosteroid. I mean, I think what this cloud thing is that if Stadia taught us anything, I wouldn't rely on just any one service. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, you know, Epic Games lets you get free games all the time. So if you've already been collecting those, you've already got a game or two you can at least try it. You know.
Right. Vets having a blast playing, and I didn't realize myself how many Boosteroid lovers. I mean, you know, not to be self-facetious about it, but people that legitimately have like Stadia type love for the platform, man. Until I've been talking to Vet, like, holy cow. So that's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've been watching people's there's a few channels out there that have been just not doing necessarily like game streams, but they've been like, let me show you what my experience is, and they'll show you clips.
Yeah.
And they show you the good and the bad. And it's just like with any cloud gaming service. You're
exactly.
Your issues here and there. But those are temporary. They go by, and anyway, yeah, dude, they got a good service. It's just a matter of who are you right now. That's what it is.
Oh.
Who are you and why should I trust you?
Yep. So, ain't this something? I didn't even realize this. That we're not even live for the YouTube. I mean, for the members, but that's okay. I'm just gonna upload it.
Okay.
I'm gonna upload it.
You can always go again.
No, that's crazy. Yeah, because my thing is saying that we're streaming.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I've had that happen when you OBS. I'll be streaming for an hour and it says I disconnect.
Yeah.
Well, when I'm done streaming, it cuts off that whole first part that I streamed and it only saves the last end on the VOD.
Sucks. Yeah. So we're actually live. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, OBS.
Yeah, man. So with that said, no, I think great interview altogether. And here, let me type this in here for the members real quick. Sorry, it wouldn't let us go live, but we will upload soon. I'm glad I recorded because I wasn't going to record. I wasn't going to. I'm glad I recorded it simultaneously. Jesus Christ. So
I'm telling you, man, I never had to think about any of this stuff before with Stadia. I sat down and played, bro. It just streamed. Man, I'm gonna tell you, on Thanksgiving Day, I did a stream for like 30 minutes and everybody was complaining about my audio and this and that. And I'm like, bro, hang on a sec.
Wow.
I didn't tell everybody, but I was in the back seat of a car driving around. We were going somewhere.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and I was streaming for myself.
That's and that's what makes cloud gaming so great, man. So
yeah,
it's very tempting for people to, get attached to it and want to, be part of it. But and I get it, but people are antsy to make sure that a company that's providing something is solvent. So makes sense, man. Makes sense.
And one thing I want to say this, I need to clarify: direct streaming from Stadia is different from direct streaming from Xbox or PlayStation.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's not the same thing. Stop telling me that they do that. They don't do what Stadia did.
Yeah, they don't do it. Yeah, absolutely not.
You're doing it from your box through your internet connection. That's not the same.
That is not the same. I can actually get. There's some instances I can have certain issues in my game that is coming to me that you won't see as a streamer because the streamer's been broke. You know what I mean? So it could have hiccups in my part of the stream, but in your part of the stream as the viewer, it's not an issue because it's being split into two. So no, it is not the same thing. All right. Well, anything else before we close this off?
Merry Christmas and free Suave's grandma.
Oh, goodness. And hey man, everybody enjoy your holiday. Thank you for joining us for this special episode. Let us know what you think. And if you have any more questions, feel free to let us know in the comments like, hey, look, we appreciate the interview, or the interview stunk. This is my questions. Let us know. And if you want to see more of them.
If you got questions they didn't ask, man, put those in the comments.
Put them in the comment section. You know what I'm going to ask? I'm not going to sit there and send a secret decoder ring to the North Pole and have the elves hide it in a treasure chest. I'm going to go straight to the source. I'm going to say, yo, what's up?
We'll sit down again with them. Yeah. If you got questions that weren't asked, put them in the comments down below.
In the comment section.
Make sure we get them answered.
And let's all get into that habit for our fellow cloud gamers. We don't want to scare them off from this. Just as we don't want to just overlook anything. We want to get definitive answers for our cloud friends. So let's do that. Let's go straight to the source. All right. This is bigger than us. Sir. It's about our cloud gaming friends. With that said, thank you everybody for coming through. I appreciate it. And until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.
Peace.